Plot twist. Everyone loves reading a novel that has a plot twist at the end, something that makes you jump, something you weren't expecting. But we have to ask ourselves, can having a plot twist at the end of your novel hurt your novel? Is it a good idea to have one in? And how do you go about putting a plot twist in that is truly effective? We're going to be answering those questions, and we're starting right now. Everyone loves a plot twist. You're reading a novel, you're thinking it's a nice standard novel, and then you get to the last page and you read that last line, and all of a sudden you figure out it's a plot twist. You were calling the whole time and you love it. And as a writer, you watch somebody reading your novel and you can tell when they get to that plot twist. You can see that look on their face and you feel proud as a writer that you got someone with a plot twist. But there's only one problem with a plot twist that can actually hurt your novel. And that is, as a writer, you are the only one who knows that that plot twist is coming up. The problem with a lot of writers is, as they're writing, they know that they're going to be putting a plot twist at the end. And they bank on this idea that it's going to sell the novel. The problem is that the reader doesn't know that the plot twist is coming. But as a writer, you're focused on it too much. You're hoping that the plot twist is going to sell the novel. But what happens if your novel is boring and the middle of the story is weak? Well, the problem is that the reader isn't going to finish the novel to get to that plot twist. They're going to close the book halfway through. And that amazing plot twist that was going to sell the book, well, they didn't even get to it because they didn't even know it was there. You as the writer know it's there, but the reader has no idea. And a lot of writers, they focus way too much on that last line. But if the story itself is weak, the reader isn't going to get to that last line. You have to write an amazing novel, something with powerful characters, a compelling storyline. You can't bank on that last line as being the thing that's going to sell your novel. You have to make the novel itself the selling point. The plot twist is like the icing on the cake. But the cake itself is what people want. You can't have a horrible tasting cake, but the icing's okay. No, the cake itself has to be amazing. And the icing, well, that's just what you put on top to really make it great. Your novel has to be powerful from start to finish. You have to make us care about the characters. And then you can hit the reader with the plot twist. That's really going to make them recommend your novel. That's really going to make them say, wow, this book is amazing. Not just because of the plot twist, but because the novel itself was amazing from start, middle, and finish. The plot twist was great, but the novel itself is what sells. Now, as a writer, maybe you could put on the cover saying a surprise ending. And the problem, though, is when you tell the reader that there's a surprise ending coming, it's not really that much of a surprise. Imagine if someone said to you, you might be having a surprise birthday party today. Well, if there is a surprise, yeah, you're surprised. It's nice, but they kind of gave it away by saying you might. It put the idea in your head. So now when you walk into a room and someone says, surprise, well, it's not really that much of a surprise because you were thinking it. Same thing with a novel with a twist ending. If the novel on the cover says, you will love the surprise ending, well, when the ending does happen with the twist, it might be a surprise, it might be great, but it's not as effective because the reader they were trying to guess. They were anticipating it. Anytime you can anticipate a plot twist, it's not really that effective because the reader will try guessing what that plot twist is. And if they do guess successfully, well, then the plot twist is actually very weak. It actually hurts your novel. How many times have you read a novel where you pretty much thought, okay, there's a twist coming, and you guessed what it is? And by the time you get to the end, sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And you're left thinking, no, it's not effective. It actually hurt your novel. As a writer, you want to make sure that the plot twist comes out of nowhere. However, it's important that the plot twist cannot just be there at the last second. You can't add it in at the very last thought. It's kind of like when Hollywood makes a movie and they decide they want to make it 3D, but they didn't shoot it in 3D. They decide to make it 3D in the editing process. These kind of movies end up looking horrible. If you're going to make a movie in 3D, you have to shoot it in 3D, not by trying to make it 3D in the editing room, where the movie just looks dark and blurry, and it just hurts the movie. If you come up with a plot twist and at the very last second just throw it in there and then send it off to the literary agent thinking that's what's going to sell the novel, it feels forced. It feels rushed. It doesn't make any sense why it's in there. What you want to do as a writer is when you put a plot twist in the end of your novel, you want to put hints along the way. So people may or may not pick up on those hints. But when they get to the end and they're blown away by the plot twist, they go back and reread your novel. And it's like reading a second novel. It's like a brand new novel. All of a sudden, they become aware that the hints were there all along. You as the writer were saying to the reader, hey, look at these hints. The plot twist wasn't that really shocking because you should have picked up on these hints. And when someone goes back and rereads your novel and they see those hints along the way, they shake their head saying, how did I not see that? That is what people like. Because chances are, if you throw a plot twist at the end, it's going to make the reader go back and reread the novel. And it should be like reading a brand new novel. A completely different feel in atmosphere. Because these hints along the way completely change the feel of the novel. But if you just throw a plot twist in at the end, and someone goes back and rereads your novel, and there are no hints whatsoever, the reader's going to realize, come on, you just threw that in there at the end. There's no justification for it. As a writer, you want to be aware of your twist at the end. You may not know exactly what it is, but you know you want to put a twist in there. And it's something that you're aiming for. And when you're finished with that twist, you want to go back and reread your novel and say, okay, what can I do? How can I put hints into this novel that when someone rereads it, it's going to be blatantly obvious, oh yeah, the hints were there. But you don't want to give hints away so much that the reader's going to guess the plot twist before they even get halfway through. It's a delicate balance. You want to put enough hints in that when they reread it, it's like, yeah, you're right, I should have noticed this. But you don't want to put too many hints where the reader guesses it within the first 10 pages. Don't submit your novel to a literary agent telling them that there's a plot twist and this is what's going to sell the novel. Literary agents get this type of message all the time, where an amateur writer will say, well, the novel's twist ending will sell the novel. Literary agents know that the reader has no idea that the twist is coming. So how on earth can a twist sell a novel if you don't know what's there? What the literary agent's going to look for is what they would look for in any novel. A novel that has a twist or not. They're going to look for characters, plot, storyline, pacing. And if the twist is in there at the end, that's amazing. They love it. But they're not going to sell the book simply because it has a plot twist. If they read it and the story is boring, the characters are weak, the pacing is off, they're not going to say, yeah, well, let's just go ahead and publish it anyway because it has a twist ending. Because the reader has no idea that that twist is coming up. So they can't sell a novel on something that you, the reader, have no idea that it's there. So as an amateur writer, you don't want to send your book to a literary agent saying, hey, it's a twist ending. go ahead and publish it. They get that type of message all the time. And it doesn't work because you can't sell a novel simply because of the last line and the last paragraph of a 500-page book. Why on earth is someone going to read 499 pages to get to that twist that they didn't even know was there to begin with? If the novel is weak, they're not even going to get past page 200, much less page 500, to get to that twist that they didn't even know existed to begin with. And as a writer, you may not know the exact details of your plot twist, and that's fine. If you know you want to put one in, that's what you aim for. It's not like you have to know every little detail of the plot twist before you even start the novel. But as you're writing the novel, you want to keep it in mind. So when you do put the plot twist in at the end, you want to make sure you can go back and place the hints along the way that point to the twist being justified. You don't want a plot twist that just comes out of nowhere for no reason and say, hey, look, there's a plot twist. The book will sell. It has to be justified. Have you ever gone to see a movie that has a plot twist at the end? Chances are the plot twist at the end of that movie is going to do one of two things with the audience. It's going to make the audience jump, and they're going to start cheering because they love the plot twist, or it's going to make them groan and shake their head. Why would they groan? Because they know that the plot twist was just added at the very last second, and there was nothing in the movie leading up to it to justify it. But what makes the audience cheer is when they realize they should have noticed it. The hints were there. And that's going to make someone want to go back and watch that movie over again. And sure enough, all of those hints were there, pointing at the plot twist right in front of you. And you shake your head saying, how did I not notice those hints? That's what makes a plot twist successful in a movie. And it's what will make a plot twist successful in your novel. The twist has to involve the protagonist at the end. It has to directly relate to the ending of the novel, where you have the climax between the protagonist and antagonist. You don't want the twist to come out of nowhere for no reason that affects maybe a minor character. It's pointless. The twist has to directly relate to the plot of the story. As a writer, you have to understand the theme and the message and what is your novel about. How does the plot twist affect the theme? How does the plot twist affect your protagonist's want and need? How does the twist at the end help the protagonist choose between their want and their need for something that they wanted that would actually hurt them, as opposed to their need, something that helps them? The twist should affect the want and their need. You don't want the twist to be like a horror movie where the cat just jumps out of nowhere and the audience is, someone reading your book, they're just reading it thinking, where did this twist come from? Why is it in there? You want to make sure that the twist is directly related to your protagonist's journey, and the twist either helps or hurts the protagonist at the climax when dealing with the antagonist. It can go either way, but you want the twist to have maximum impact at the end of the novel, not just thrown in for no reason, affecting a minor character, leaving the reader confused as to why it was in there in the first place. Not all novels need a plot twist. You don't have to put one into every novel you're writing. A romantic comedy, it doesn't need a plot twist. But a thriller novel can benefit by having one. If you wish to add one, you can. But it's not necessary that every novel has to have a plot twist. But if you're writing something that's a comedy or romance, you can look back and say, is the plot twist really necessary to help sell this novel? And if it's not, then you don't have to put one in there. But it makes you wonder, how difficult is it to be a writer? Well, I just happen to have a blog on that right here that you can click on right now, and you can watch that video, and you can understand all of the hard work that it goes into being a professional, successful writer. And be sure to visit my website. I'll leave a description down below, so you can visit my site and get a ton of information from all of the blogs that I have that teaches you on how you can be a successful writer. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, where every time a new video comes up, you'll be notified right away. And that way you can learn how to be a successful writer as fast as possible. Because I want to help you. I want to see your book in a bookstore as fast as possible. And don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment. What do you think about plot twist? What was the greatest plot twist you ever came across? Was it successful? Did it catch you? Did it catch you off guard? Did you see it coming? Was it weak? Leave a comment below, and I want to see what you guys have to say about plot twists in the novel that you loved.